Chapter 14, 16. Fang Yuan's Pursuit. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Fang Yuan was helpless. He could not force Lang Ya Lan's spirit to do anything. Right now, he was stuck here. Even if he wanted to continue deducing the self-cleansing formation, without the crucial immortal goo, it would not work. And most importantly, I need to borrow Lang Ya's strength to refine goo. Fang Yuan obtained Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance. He lacked many immortal goo. He had a bunch of plans for what immortal goo to refine next. If Lang Ya Lan's spirit thought about it for a long time and still rejected him, what would he do? Fang Yuan had considered this problem. He always did things by considering the worst possible outcome first. If Lang Ya Lan's spirit refuses to lend formation plate immortal goo, I will need to use other people's immortal apertures. Fang Yuan had a lot of down marks. It was hard to get into the immortal apertures of the other Shadow Sect goo immortals. Unless they placed their immortal aperture to form a blessed land with deep foundation, then it would be possible. After Fang Yuan entered another immortal aperture, he could use time path methods to expand the tributary of the river of time and increase the rate of time inside. That way, one day in the outside world would be half a month inside the immortal aperture. This would allow him to obtain a huge amount of precious time to work with. Next, he would set up the self-cleansing immortal goo formation in the Blessed Land, and Fang Yuan would enter it to cleanse his detrimental down marks. This was the plan that Fang Yuan would use if he had no alternatives left, because its flaw was equally big. After placing the immortal aperture, the position would be fixed. By then, it would be dangerous if Feng Zhuge pursued them. Did Feng Zhuge have any method to break into an immortal aperture? It was possible. Even if Feng Zhuge did not, he was backed by Spirit Affinity House and Heavenly Court. They would not let him have this limitation. There was another important point. Once the time path method was used, the tributary of the River of Time would change, and this modification could not be adjusted against for a period of time. For example, if Fang Yuan made the time in He Lulan's immortal aperture accelerate, for a few months he would not be able to change the tributary size again. Inside He Fan's time path, true inheritance, be it days pass like years or months pass like years, they had this problem when trying to modify the tributary of the River of Time to affect the rate of time. Because these killer moves were one-time activation moves with lasting effects, if one tries to influence the tributary of the River of Time consecutively over a short period, time path down marks would be disrupted, the tributary would be in disastrous turmoil. Fang Yuan already knew the time of arrival for the Goo Immortals' calamities and tribulations. After calculating, he realized that if he used this method, one of them would need to undergo their immortal aperture's tribulation. This was troublesome. All along, Heaven's will has been trying to find ways of killing Fang Yuan. Even though Fang Yuan could choose other people's immortal apertures, Heaven's will could see everything, and everyone that is linked to Fang Yuan. During the tribulation, Heaven's will would definitely use all its power to kill the Goo Immortal undergoing tribulation. Fang Yuan and the rest could collaborate to deal with the calamities and tribulations. But Heavenly Court had pursuers. Looking at the time and their speed, placing the immortal aperture would not be able to get rid of the investigative killer move at once. That way, Fang Yuan would need to endure an immortal aperture's tribulation and face the assault of Heavenly Court's Goo Immortals together. It was too risky. If Fang Yuan used his sovereign immortal aperture for it, it would be even more dangerous. Fang Yuan had another concern. Last time, only Feng Zhuge came. I wonder how many Heavenly Court Goo Immortals would show up next time. Thus, during this period, Fang Yuan had been moving around, not giving these Heavenly Court Goo Immortals a chance to encircle him. Western Desert was so huge, while Heavenly Court had to enter another region to fight, with Fang Yuan and the others using omnidirectional travel, it was very difficult to find and kill him. When time was up, several figures flew towards him in the sky. They were Bai Ningbing, He Lulan, and the others. Usually, when Fang Yuan cultivated or made deductions, they would spread out and guard the surroundings for him. Fang Yuan, when will that immortal goo formation be completed? How long must we continue to run around? At this moment, Bai Ningbing flew down, frowning as she asked impatiently. Fang Yuan did not need to look around. He could feel that the rest of the Gu immortals had looked towards him because of the questions. Wait a bit more, Fang Yuan said plainly. Bai Ningbing snorted coldly. Her expression was of displeasure. She was the most impatient person among them. This type of lifestyle was not exciting. She felt extremely bored. Aren't you able to create that immortal Gu formation? Set up another one and kill all of the heavenly court pursuers again, Bai Ningbing suggested. Fang Yuan shook his head. Do you think the immortal Gu formation is easy to set up? We need a tributary of the river of time. The immortal Gu formation used to harm Feng Zhuge earlier came from Heifan's true inheritance. Heifan created this formation to defend against immemorial year beasts. Because the use of years flow like water, immortal Gu would attract immemorial year beasts that would enter the Gu immortal's immortal aperture through the tributary of the river of time. Heifan used this immortal Gu formation on the tributary so that when an immemorial year beast entered and the Gu immortal could not deal with it, they could detonate the formation and destroy the tributary of the river of time, forcing that immemorial year beast back into the river. Of course, this method was a trump card that could only be used when there were no other options. With the destruction of the tributary of the river of time, the immortal aperture's time would freeze. It would be extremely difficult to draw in another tributary. They would need one from the outside world. I have the same feelings as you. I do not like being hunted down. But I would rather accumulate the hatred in my heart to wait for a proper time to counterattack and deal a fatal blow to those people. Isn't that what you want, the excitement of the future? Bai Ningbing stopped speaking. All right, let's move. This place is not safe anymore. Fang Yuan had just said that when the expressions of Bai Ningbing and the others changed. In the sky, a red cloud descended. Dancer Hong Yun was on it. Her face was pink and rosy. Her gaze was on Fang Yuan and Gang, who were near the sand dune. Concubine Koi, who are these people? Why are you with them? Dancer Hong Yun asked in a reprimanding tone. Concubine Koi was naturally Fairy Kuibo. Hong Yun? Ying Wuxi was surprised before showing an appropriate joyful expression, asking, Why are you here? The red cloud descended slowly as Dancer Hong Yun observed this Fairy Kuibo. Ying Wuxi was currently using the body of Fairy Kuibo, which he had possessed with his soul. There were naturally flaws now, after all. His soul was not completely compatible with the body. If it were an ordinary Gu immortal possession, Dancer Hong Yun would be able to see the flaws. But this was Ying Wuxi she was looking at. Who was Ying Wuxi? He was a split soul of spectral soul demon Venerable. His soul foundation was many times that of Fang Yuan. Spectral soul demon. Venerable was the creator of Soul Path. He had countless split souls with many identities. They lurked in the 5 regions and created a force, without showing any flaws. Ying Wuxi naturally had ways to conceal his possession method. As expected, after Dancer Hong Yun used her investigative methods, she did not find anything amiss with Fairy Kuibo. Her expression became warmer. You were in huge trouble. Your life tablet Gu and soul lantern Gu were affected. Thus, I came to help you. But it seems that you are in good shape. Husband and I were worried for nothing. Next, Dancer Hong Yun asked again. Who are they? They seem familiar. Dancer Hong Yun's gaze turned to Fang Yuan. Suddenly, her expression changed. She was shocked. Liu Guanyi? Dancer Hong Yun was backed by 1,000 transformations ancestor. Her intel was far wider than normal Gu immortals. After the Battle of Reverse Flow River, Liu Guanyi's appearance was known to the world. As time passed, more and more Gu immortals knew about him. And Liu Guanyi's appearance was the original appearance of Fang Yuan in his sovereign immortal body. This time, Dancer Hong Yun came very abruptly. Fang Yuan did not manage to change his appearance. That is me. How should I address you? After being exposed, Fang Yuan asked coldly and calmly. Dancer Hong Yun did not answer yet. She first rode the red cloud and moved back by a distance. Facing Liu Guanyi, she had a heavy expression, feeling great pressure in her heart. This was someone who could fight with rank 8 existences. Some time ago, his name became renowned in the world, gaining the same status as Feng Ge. Thankfully, I have husband's will and his rank 8 immortal gu. Otherwise, dancer Hong Yun felt relieved while her eyes darted around as she said, Concubine Kui, despite husband's and my concern, you mixed with gu immortals from other regions, and worse, you did not even send us a letter. Dancer Hong Yun had her own objective. She was saying this to sow discord between Thousand Transformations' ancestor and Fairy Quibo. Thousand Transformations. Ancestor doted on Fairy Quibo normally. Dancer Hong Yun was very jealous. She would not give up this chance to attack Fairy Quibo. Her words were addressed to Ying Wuxi, but it was meant for Thousand Transformations' will. Fang Yuan's gaze became solemn, while Bai Ningbing and He Lulan subtly looked at each other. Dancer Hong Yun's words were simply disregarding Lu Guanyi. She had this level of confidence. She was definitely relying on more than just her battle strength. Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing, He Lulan understood this, but Ying Wuxi, Fairy Miao Yin, and Lady White Rabbit did not realize this. All right, tell us your encounter, Concubine Kui. I am very curious. At this time, Thousand Transformations' will emerged from Dancer Hong Yun's body. There was a trump card indeed, Ying Wuxi thought. This is the crucial moment. Let's see how Ying Wuxi gets through this. Bright light shined in Fang Yuan's eyes. Bai Ningbing and the rest were slightly worried. Ying Wuxi had grown quickly, but he was still young. His acting was inferior to Fang Yuan. It would be quite hard for Thousand Transformations' will to not sense a flaw in his acting. Could he do it?